Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad, where we heal what haunts us, become self-aware, and raise our vibrations so we can live with clarity, intention, and purpose. See, I believe our greatest gift to our children is showing them how to live and how to heal. My name is Wes Coons, and welcome back. The last episode, we had that great interview with Cosette. Thanks, Cosette. I was just texting her. She's having a mojito or something, and I'm sitting here working and trying to connect with you guys. The summer is blowing past super fast, and I just want to say thank you. I've got the best listeners. I just want you to know I appreciate you. I look forward to the rest of this season. Life gets in the way sometimes. You set up these episodes to interview with people, then the children are out of school and stuff. So we had to do some rescheduling, and we've had Lakota One Heart on the show a few times. Clearly, we've talked about her. So we are building a home for her off-grid in Abingdon, Virginia. So on top of my businesses that I have and the podcast and living life, what does Wes do? Sign up to build a house off-grid 7 hours away. So no pressure there. We will be doing a fundraiser here soon for her. We need to raise some more money to help build the house. And so we're going to put that out. If you feel called, if you feel in your heart that you want to do something to help this woman, your tax-deductible donation is going to help us build this beautiful home. I am always self-reflecting, right? I think it's important. I believe it helps me heal. It helps me become something greater than I was at 9 o'clock this morning. So one of the fun things, I don't know how fun it is, but one of the things I like to do is self-reflect at the end of the day and see what lessons did I learn. So today I got a lesson that I needed to see. I received a lesson again in expectations. My office is at 31st Street in Virginia Beach at the oceanfront, so I'm at the beach all the time. And there's a guy there, his name's Charles, and Charles is homeless. He's a wonderful man. I just adore him. He's got a kind heart. And most mornings when Abby and I go for a walk down at the beach, I'll bring him breakfast or something from Starbucks, and I just like him. So he sleeps on the bench sitting up all the time, right? And I've noticed lately he has this little black chair that he sits in. He's a big guy. He just doesn't fit in it properly. And I bought him this chair. So I took it down to him this morning, and I expected he's going to open it up and he's going to sit in it because it's got the high back and he could take a nap. And he was very grateful. I had the best time giving him the gift. So when I drove back by later, the chair was sitting next to him, and he was sitting in this old, tiny black chair, and he's waving at me as I go by. For a second, my feelings were hurt, and I'm like, wait a minute. I am putting expectation on a gift that I gave somebody, right? I don't know about you, but every time I put expectations on a relationship, on a phone call, on a business meeting, on anything, that allows me, I want you to hear this, that allows me to call in victim energy. Because when Charles wasn't sitting in the chair being all comfortable and I came by, my feelings were hurt because I expected that he would be sitting in the chair. And the reality is, I didn't give him the chair for me to go by and feel good about myself. I gave him the chair because I felt like it was the right thing to do. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So as I was leaving the beach, I was thinking about that. You know what? I bought the chair because I felt like I was doing the right thing for somebody. I felt like I was paying something forward. I felt like I was doing a random act of kindness. And the smile on his face when I gave him the gift, it was worth $1 million. I just love him so much. And I don't know what he has going on, but there's good days and there's bad days. And on his bad days, you kind of stay clear a little bit and just let him have his space. I'm going to do prayers today for Charles. I'm going to do prayers today for me. I'm going to do prayers today for you because our prayers are powerful. So I know that my taking the time to see him, to acknowledge him, to let him know he was important, I believe made a difference. So if you're at the beach at 31st Street and you see Charles sitting in this big blue chair, just know that chair came from unconditional love. So about a year ago, I forget who I was talking to. We were out to dinner or something. I don't have this long history of going to church and stuff. I don't like to go to church. To me, church is guilt and shame. Spirituality is unconditional love, connecting with the Holy Sacred Spirit, connecting with God, being true to yourself, no expectations and no guilt, right? That's what I think. Doing prayer over my food never really was something that I did. I was out to dinner with somebody and they said, "Why aren't you praying over your food?" I said, "I don't know, man. It's something I don't think about." And he said, "Wes, it's not necessarily about connecting with God, even though you're honoring God, but everything is energy. Who prepared your food? Who made the iced tea? Who washed the dishes?" I was like, "I don't know. Do you think that person has an opportunity not to carry a high vibration?" I said, "Yeah, I mean, there's an opportunity for that." I said, "Do you think that person maybe did drugs before they came to work, or they had something happen to them, or maybe they're not a good person?" I was like, "That could be an opportunity." I said, "If everything is energy and they're preparing your food with anger, frustration, and hate in their heart, and you didn't pray over your food, you're ingesting the energy of somebody else as you're having dinner." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "You're just ruining everything for me right now." The lady came and brought us our food, and I did prayers over I did prayers at the table. I like to pray most of the time with my eyes open because I wanna see what's going on, especially if you can see in other realms, other dimensions and stuff, you see things. So we're holding hands, doing prayers, and I seen these black things flying off my food. And I'm like, "Dude, did you see that?" He just started laughing. He said, "My eyes were closed." "Why? What'd you see?" I told him, I said, "These black specks were coming off." He said, "I told you." The energy of somebody else was embedded in your food, and your prayers raised the vibration of what was on our table, what was in our energy, what was in that drink, in that food, in that salad. And as that prayer raised the vibration, the energy of the negative attachment or whatever that was there had to leave. So when's the last time you prayed over your food? Or better yet, I bet you're going to pray over your food next time. And I remember asking somebody one day, I said, "How do you pray? I don't know how to pray." So here's a easy, simple prayer. "Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for these gifts. Thank you for blessing us with this food and these friends and this friendship and this relationship. Help us see the path that we're supposed to be on with clarity. And if you could help us move through that door with ease and grace so we can honor you, we can serve you, I would really appreciate that. I love you and I accept you in my life." What a simple prayer. Or you could just say, "Hey, brother," I've done this one before. "Hey, if you could bless us, I sure would appreciate it." Because let's be honest, he's pretty funny, right? I see all these people so uptight about their prayers and everything. I'm like, man, it's not that complicated. It's not. I've talked to that dude. I've seen that dude. He has taken me to see him being crucified. But I do know this, whether you believe in that or not, he's there. Imagine having a relationship with somebody that no matter what you did, they are going to love you unconditionally. They might not like what you're doing, but they're not going to talk down to you. They're not going to leave you. They're not going to forsake you. How would you like to have that relationship? Because you do already if you pay attention to it. And then if you take that to the next level, do you do that to yourself? I mean, come on. I don't know about you, but I struggle with that sometimes. I struggle with my mindset. I struggle with wondering if I am doing the right thing or I get caught up in my head. Shockingly, I'm not perfect, right? I know that's hard to conceive, but the reality is you see these people on TV, on the radio and stuff, and they live this perfect life. Facebook, we can live this perfect life, and that's not real. What's real is sadness and pain, happiness, joy, and trying to do the next best thing. That's real. Living your life is real. I was at Lakota's property last week, and I got invited to dinner at this gentleman's house, right? And I mean, everybody's got a tractor, everybody's got a dog. I mean, this is country and it's beautiful and it's hilly. And Virginia Beach is pretty flat, but everything is on a fucking 30-degree slope up there, it seems like. So Lakota and I go, and Elizabeth was with us. She's wonderful. She's part of the group. So we go down to Gene's house and Brenda's house, his wife, and they've got this double car garage. They've got 6 or 7 recliners. Here's a couple shotguns sitting up against the wall. The kids come pulling up in a 4-wheeler, and she had this picnic table, and they come in, they said, welcome. We talked for a second, said, there is plenty of food over there. Go make something to eat. And we had the best time. We had a family meal, a home-cooked meal with total fucking strangers that invited us in their house, and every Thursday night they do that. So she had this table set up with a fried chicken and all this stuff, and I haven't had a home-cooked meal in a long time. So, I mean, I had 3 or 4 plates, but she had this old stove, and it was like a creamy white paint. There's like a porcelain on it. And this is the trippiest thing is, I don't know how old, but you have to put firewood in there to actually make it heat up, right? This thing looks like it weighs 850 pounds. And when I go back in a couple of weeks, she said, we'll start it up. We'll cook something. I'll show you how to cook on it. I thought that was really cool. But I've just been thinking about that. Having a relationship with your family, with your neighbors, with God, with yourself, that is so pure. Every Thursday night, these people come out of the woodwork to share a meal with each other, sit down, help solve problems, support each other, and I had the most wonderful time. So Gene did not serve in the military, and everybody knows I did serve in the greatest fighting force on the planet, the United States Marine Corps. So a couple people said, I'm tired of hearing that. And I'm like, well, the truth hurts sometimes. So I bought him a United States Marine Corps K-bar. And if you don't know what that is, it's about a 9-inch knife, and that is the knife of the United States Marine Corps. That, of course, the Marines don't issue you anything because they don't give you shit. That is our knife. And in my opinion, even though you can buy it online, you shouldn't own one unless you're a Marine or unless somebody gifts it to you. So I wanted to thank him for inviting me over. So I bought that for him. So I hope he, with no expectation, my heart's going to be open when I give it to him, but I think he's going to like it. And for his wife, I'm going to bake this amazing apple pie. So you haven't had pie unless you've had my pie. And that is going to be off the hook. And so they're inviting us to a river for, I don't know what holidays coming up, Labor Day, Memorial Day, something. And apparently they built this gazebo down by the river. There's places for the family to come camp. And the building's big enough for them to cook and have this big meal. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I know it's going to be wonderful. I'm going to take a break from building Lakota's house. And I asked her if we can go. And there's just something about country people. I love it. When I was married, we lived on 8 acres out in Hickory, Hickory section of Virginia Beach out in Chesapeake. We had more friends there, and you can't even see the neighbor, than I do in a neighborhood right now where I see the neighbor getting their mail every single day. There's just a relationship. I guess there's still this need for your neighbor to help you do something. Help fix your truck, change a flat tire, do something with the tractor that we don't have in regular society. But at the same time, I've also noticed when I'm in that area, when I'm in that community, there is a higher level of connection to the church or connection to God. That can't be a mistake, right? And maybe you don't believe in God, or maybe you don't understand God, or maybe, hey, dude, I was pissed off at him for fucking years. So if you listen to the show, you know why, right? So if that word doesn't connect with you, use spirit, use universe. I don't care I don't care what you think and believe, because I respect you. I see you. I honor you. I hold space for you for wherever you're at. So whatever words you need to change so you can hear the message that when you're connected with something greater than yourself, it is easier for you to open your heart, to be of service, to help somebody, to do random acts of kindness, to be a better person, to raise your vibration, heal your heart, raise your children, and be the beacon of light that you came here to be. I hear all the time, what's my purpose on this planet, Wes? You're a healer, you're doing this, and you're doing that. I never planned to be a healer. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm the worst ordained man. I'm the worst ordained minister ever. But I know Jesus is real. I know God's real. I know Archangel Michael's real. I've seen them. I work with them. And when I was a little boy, everybody hated me, not my family, but the neighbor kids and stuff, because they're fucking kids. They were just mean. And I got brutalized on a daily basis. And that cage that they put me in, that I was ugly, weak, and stupid and not wanted, I carried that most of my life. And the fucking funny thing is the key to the cage that's holding you in hostage is in your back left pocket. So when I was that little boy and I was on my hands and knees crying because I'd just gotten beat up, they pulled my shirt off. They gave me a wedgie. They wrapped the fucking thing around my head just to be dicks, just to be mean. They were kids and didn't realize what they were doing. They didn't realize it was going to stick with me. But I absorbed that, and now I'm healing it, right? But as I was sitting there screaming at God that I wanted to be special, because in my mind, hey, if you make me special, I'll have friends. If you make me special, all these things will happen. And then all of a sudden, I was able to do this healing work. I survived the haunted house and all these things, and I could see things. And there's angels, there's dragons, there's all these gifts, these beautiful things. And I'm like, oh, I'm finally special. But besides that, I made a commitment. I said, I am not going to forsake you anymore. You saved me. You allowed me to go through this experience to see that you're real. I see that. I love you. I accept you in my life, and I'm going to do this work. But I had expectations, right? The expectation was, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a healer. Everybody's going to love me. I'm going to have all these friends. So in the beginning, I tried to be friends with these people. And Trinae pulls me to the side one day. She said, hey, Wes, let me ask you a question. If you hired somebody to go in your backyard and scoop the dog poop, are you going to be best friends with them? I said, probably not. There's somebody I hired to do a job. She said, exactly. Stop fucking trying to be their friend. You're not their friend. You are here to do a job. So shut your mouth, stay in your lane. And my feelings were so hurt because I had these expectations that I was going to have what Gene and them have. I'm going to have this big family. I'm going to have all these things. And I do have a big family. And the reality is, I'm uncomfortable in front of a lot of people. Surprisingly. I was sitting here talking to you, and I run a real estate company. I'm in front of people all the time. But it's interesting how, in one hand, I have all these expectations, and the reality is I could probably go out in short order and create that. But what I've come to realize is I'm comfortable where I am. I like where I am. I like selecting high quality, high vibration people to spend time with, and not everybody falls into that category, right? So, Charles, I just want to say thank you. I want to say I love you. I appreciate you. I see you. I honor you. I hold space for you because you loved me so much. At some level, your soul knew I needed a lesson today on expectations. So next week, we're bringing Jessica back on the show from the Reiki Wellness Center. I wanted to interview her on this journey she's been on. I think you're going to love it. She has the best smile, the biggest heart. I just love her. And she's got, and I guess we should talk about Jason too, her amazing husband. He's a good friend of mine. And I've watched Jason change over the years. He's taken Reiki and adopted it in his life. Trinae told us we can live a Reiki blessed life. And I didn't understand that, but I knew mine was so freaking miserable. Anything had to be better, right? I watched this guy in the United States Navy on a Navy warship use his words and his prayers and his gifts and Reiki to change the ship, to change his relationship with the Navy, to change his relationship with the commanding officer, to where he had this beautiful experience. And I don't know about you, if you've served in the military, yeah, we don't normally have a beautiful experience, right? It is what it is. You're dealing with a lot of personalities. But that was proof to me that even a guy can change. Even somebody in the military, in this regimented guys community of who's tougher than who, and I've got more rank than you, so what I say goes, and you don't matter, that you can change something, that just blew me away. So I'm interviewing Jessica, gonna be really cool. I'm gonna be up in Abingdon working on this house for about 10 days. But I wanted to say thank you, and if you haven't heard it today, I love you. The light in me sees the light in you, and I'll see you next week.